Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? So, I will be waiting for you guys to pick up the notification and find out that I'm here. And then we will be starting in a bit. Tonight's topic is all about Motivation Monday. It's about how to deal with failures. And so, I will be wait for you guys to log in and then we will be starting. And once again, you know the drill. Please post, if you're already there, please post where you're watching from or just say your highs and hellos so that I will know that you're there. And also, I really don't see your names on my screen. So just post where you're watching from or who you are, or just say your highs and hellos so that I will be able to acknowledge your presence on the stream. And also, I would like to say hi to all those who have watched the previous episodes. Thank you so much for watching and thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting all the causes that we are promoting. Thank you, thank you. Okay, and so obviously it's a Monday and it's all about motivation because we are gonna be dealing with another week of maybe challenges or maybe it's not always fun, right? So we need motivation every single Monday so that we will be able to get through the week and have a good start and just remind ourselves that we can do this and just remind ourselves that we can get through the week and be successful in the things that we are doing. But how about if it doesn't work out, right? So that's why we are going to be talking about failures today. And also, we have, okay, let me just show the presentation. We have a presentation, so that's it's pretty much something that I want to share because, of course, I'm doing a lot of work in it. That's why I want to share it with you guys. And I just don't want to be talking, right? It's also good to have visuals. That's why I keep on preparing all these presentations. Okay, and so let me share my screen. Okay, so hopefully. Hello, Paul. Good evening. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, so tonight's topic is all about how to deal with failures because we are always talking about success, but how about we also talk about failures? And okay, so again, if you have been constantly watching my shows, please post your highs and hellos. You know the drill. But to those of you who have just recently watched the show or you're just new to the channel, please let me know by saying your highs and hellos on the comment box below. And also, please join the conversation. It's always fun to be talking to you guys because it's a live stream, right? It's one of the advantages of a live stream. You can actually talk to the person who's talking. So take advantage of that. And again, I'm Irene. I'm a licensed real estate broker in the Philippines. I'm also a motivational speaker and I'm also a writer and I do a lot of things in between. But if you want to know more about me, well, stay tuned with all of the shows that we have every single night. Every night we have different topics and different themes, definitely. So every Monday we have Motivation Monday. So we are going to be talking about something that's motivational, something that's inspiring, or something that will just inspire us to keep on moving forward and forget about not forget but just remind ourselves na lang just remind ourselves that we can do this and that we've done it before, we can do it again today and we can do it again tomorrow. So hopefully we will be able to you will be able to gain some insights on another episode of Motivation Monday. And again, I'm Irene, and welcome to the channel. And we are going to be talking about how to deal with failures. Hi, Ren. Thank you so much for watching. I'll send you a message later. Hi, Sir Joseph. Good evening. Okay, so first and foremost, we have to describe. We'll have to define that, but we'll have to define failure. But let's have a quick little game. Okay. So this is a photo of the person who said this. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Okay, so let's have a guess. Do you know who he is? Well, there's a clue, right? He's the one who invented the light bulb. Would you like to guess who's the person who said these words? Come on, let's have a little fun. It's Monday. Kailangan ng energy. So, sino ba yung nagsabi ng I have not failed? I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work because we are going to be talking about failures, and I cannot think of any other guy who said it perfectly than him. So who is he? Ay, grabe sila. Okay, he's quite famous, right? Tama ba? He's from the 18th century. Okay, so anyway, so dahil walang sumagot, that's Thomas Edison. He was the one who actually discovered the light bulb. Okay, and marami pa siyang na-discover. Actually, he has 1,099 or 1,098 patents under his name. So he discovered a lot of things that we are currently using in the modern era. So yes, that's Thomas Edison. So if I'm thinking about failures, the first person that I could ever think of is actually Thomas Edison, because he said it perfectly when he said that he did not fail. He just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And most of the time, we are actually looking more at failures in a very negative way. But I love how Thomas Edison said it that, well, he did not fail at all. So, okay, so let's talk about failure. All right, so let me start by defining what failure is all about. Alam, Sir Joseph, nag-message ko pala. Florence. So that's Thomas Edison. Failed na agad. Okay, that's very good. I mean, the most important part is you try, di ba? Okay, so what is failure? Failure is an act or instance of failing or proving unsuccessful. So that's from dictionary.com. That's a definition of what is failure, or the definition of failure. And that's exactly what failure is all about. It's really exactly the opposite of success. So ngayon, babalikan lang natin, ano ba talaga yung definition ng success? Now, success is very objective, right? Every person has his or her own definition of success. And kahit sa organization, di ba, may kanya-kanyang, kada department, iba ang definition ng success, yung organizational success, iba din. So every organization, even though they are from the same industry, meron din silang sarili nilang definition ng success. So success is very subjective. It can differ from one person to another. So on the opposite side naman of success is failure, and failure is the act or the instance of failing or proving unsuccessful. So failure is also subjective. Kasi nga, depende kung ano yung definition mo ng success, right? It really depends on your definition of success. So failure is also kind of subjective. Okay. So let's talk about why does failure hurt? Kasi 'di ba, masakit kapag nagfe-fail tayo. Okay, let's talk about your feelings. Remember that it's a normal response for any human being to feel hurt when he or she fails. Now, failure can come in different ways. It can come in your personal life, your career, your relationships, diba? So it can come in many forms, yung failure. So remember that it's a normal response to feel hurt. Don't ever negate that, because again, we're human beings. We feel, we have emotions, right? And let's not invalidate that. So kung nag-fail ka at nasaktan ka, okay lang. Ramdamin mo lang yan, okay? But why does failure really hurt? So the first one is the fear of being judged. Syempre, pag nag-fail ka, you feel like you will be judged by everyone around you. And alam niyo naman, syempre, depende rin yan pati sa kultura. So sometimes people tend to be judgmental about people who are failing at what they're doing. And so tayo, bilang tayo yung naka-experience ng failure, natatakot tayo na i-judge tayo ng ibang tao, right? And yeah, so that's the number one thing. Why does failure hurt? Because we are so scared that we will be judged by the people around us. And then the second one is the fear of being isolated. I remember several instances in my life. I've also, obviously, I've failed so many times, right? I mean, I will never be here talking about failure if I've never, ever encountered failure in my entire lifetime, because that would be hypocritical, right? So yes, definitely, I've encountered so many failures in my life, and that's exactly why I'm talking about this. So the second reason why failure hurt is because we feel that we are isolated, and I've felt that so many times. Like when I fail, I feel like people will walk away from me or people will turn their backs on me. And so the fear of being isolated is is so real that when we fail, we tend to just keep it to ourselves. For example, kapag bumagsak ka sa board exam, right? Tapos lahat ng mga kabatch mo nakapasa or karamihan nakapasa tas ikaw hindi. Feeling mo magiging left out ka or magiging left behind, right? And we feel that we will be isolated in our own pity party. And so again, as humans, we want to feel that we belong somewhere. And the feeling of being isolated totally hurts. 'Di ba? Hindi lahat ng tao masaya silang mag-isa sila. May mga tao na hindi sila komportable or hindi sila masaya na mag-isa sila. And that's why it hurts. Kasi kung nasa isang lugar ka na mag-isa ka lang, tapos hindi ka, kumbaga wala kang kasama, wala kang karamay, at hindi mo choice yun, masakit talaga yun. Masama siya sa pakiramdam, right? Doesn't feel good. Next, um, why does failure hurt? The third reason is the fear of letting others down, especially if people are counting on you, right? And there are so many instances, obviously, in our lives that we feel that we are letting others down. Sometimes, personally, okay lang sa atin nag-feel tayo eh. Pero minsan makikita mo na malungkot yung mom mo, yung dad mo, mga kapatid mo, maybe yung partner mo, right? Or yung, let's say, sa team, yung mga teammates mo, hindi naman talaga, I mean, kung ikaw, minsan okay lang sa atin nag-feel tayo. Pero minsan, kaya siya masakit kasi yung feeling na may na-let down tayong tao na parang yung failure natin, may kasama pa tayong iba dun sa failure na yon. So parang may dadadamay kang iba. So that's why it hurts. Yun yung isa din sa mga dahilan. Another thing is the fear of rejection. Siyempre, ito pa, kapag nag-feel ka, for example, kapag nag-feel ka, dahil nga maraming tao din ng judgmental, okay? Maraming mga tao sa paligid natin ng judgmental, ang nangyayari, kapag nag-feel ka, for example, gagamitin ko pa rin same example ng board exam. Kapag nag-feel ka sa board exam, sasabihin na ng mga ibang tao, ay nako, buti sana kung pumasa pa yan, bumagsak na siya. Things like that. And obviously, it hurts so bad. Like listening to the people that you love, and then judging you or rejecting you, or the feeling they give you or the words that they say towards you. Masakit yun eh, 'di ba? Lalong-lalo na minsan isusunod ko 'to sa number 5, no? Minsan, hindi mo naman talaga kailangan pati ng words ng ibang tao. Minsan, ikaw mismo ang nakakaramdam na ng self-doubt kahit hindi mo na siya marinig sa ibang tao. And that's the loudest voice you'll ever hear every single day, self-doubt. When you fail, you will start doubting yourself if you really can make it, if you really can achieve it, if you really can make something work. Right? Yun yung masakit eh. Yung ikaw na mismo, yung nagdududa sa sarili mo. The person who judges you or doubts you is yourself, and that hurts so bad. Because the more you listen to yourself, right? The more you listen to yourself, the more na bumababa yung self-doubt mo. And which is related to number 6, it makes us feel unworthy. Feeling natin, hindi na natin deserve maging successful. We don't feel like we still deserve to be successful. And so it makes us feel like worthless sometimes. And we shouldn't, right? It's a normal feeling to feel hurt, but these are the reasons why we feel hurt. Next is it also makes us regret. And this is the feeling that I wish I could have done more, blah blah blah. So these are the reasons that keep us awake at night. These are the circumstances that make us think back and look back and feel like maybe we could have done more, if only, yung mga ganon. And kaya this is why I always remind myself that I should always give it my 100% shot, because because regret is a very bad enemy. Sobrang bad enemy ng regret. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes you, yeah, second guess yourself. It makes you feel unworthy. It also keeps you sleepless at night, 'di ba? Mga anxiety attacks, yan yun eh, regret din yun. Isa yung regret sa mga talagang constant na ibabother ka, i-remind ka na dapat ito yung ginawa mo, sana ito man lang yung ginawa mo, mga ganong conversations in your head. And you really have to get out of your head, right? But these are the reasons, again, these are the reasons why failure hurt, because um, marami dyan, actually, karamihan dyan ay external factors, but the loudest voice that you will ever hear when you fail is the voice inside your head telling you that, see, I told you, hindi mo naman talaga kaya eh. Right? And yun ang pinakamasaklap, yun ang pinakamasakit. And that is why we are talking about this, because I want to remind you that failures are normal. If you don't fail, my God, you're not even human. Okay? Wala pa akong nakilalang tao na hindi nag-fail. Seryoso. Wala pa. Like, wala pa akong nakitang bata na hindi nadapa nung nagsisimula siyang maglakad. Wala pa akong nakitang tao na alam agad niya yung ginagawa niya. Everyone has to start from scratch. And once a person tries to do something, meron at merong darating na failures along the way. It may not be big, it may be just a tiny failure, but people um, will definitely experience failure once or twice, and even 1,000 times in his life. Okay? So, normal po yan. Wag po ninyong, wag po ninyong saktan yung feelings ninyo. Just feel the failure, okay? And then later on, we will be talking about how to deal with failures. Okay? So, inexplain ko lang bakit masakit sa damdamin yung failure. Kasi the more we know why failure hurt, the more we understand ourselves, and the more we become kinder to ourselves. And we have to be kind to ourselves. Remember that. That's why I do these things para ma-remind tayo. And in fact, ako rin, nare-remind din ako nitong mga sinasabi ko. We have to be kinder to ourselves. Sometimes the loudest voice is the one in your head, and that's the voice that tells you that you're not good enough. So we have to shut it up. Okay? Kaya natin to pinag-uusapan. Next is, oopsie. So let's have another quick game. Do you know who he is? Sabi niya, successful people don't fear failure, but understand that it's necessary to learn and grow from. Do you know who he is? Okay, clue. He's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it's one of the best-selling books of all time because that book is really, it's a treasure. So if you haven't read it yet, basahin ninyo, because you're gonna learn a lot from that book. So he's the author of that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I really like. Actually, ang dami kong binasang books niya. Feeling ko lahat ng books niya nabasa ko na several times. Because he actually failed so many times in his life, and he never really gave up. And there were so many times that he wanted to give up, but he just can't, because he has a wife, and that wife is also very supportive of him, and he cannot let her down. So talagang sobrang ganda nung story ng life niya. So if you get a chance to read his book and his profile, do so. Okay, may makakahula ba kung sino siya? The author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, who also said the words, successful people don't fear failure, but understand that it's necessary to learn and grow from. Yay! Thank you! Yay! Thanks, Ren. Yes, it's Robert Kiyosaki. Ayan. So, if you get the chance, um, read his book. It's read his books kasi marami, pero the most famous one is Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay. So, let's talk about the benefits of failure. Akalain niyo yun may benefits yung failure. Okay? Actually, meron. Okay? Hindi naman puro sama ng loob lang yung binibigay sa atin ni failure. Meron naman talaga siyang benefit. Okay, simulan natin sa growth. And sobrang gasgas na tong linyang to. When we fail, we learn, we grow, blah, blah, blah. But it's true. And that's why it's number one on my list. Kasi no matter how cliche it sounds, it still holds true, even though it's already 2021 and a lot of things happened. And still, failure teaches you to grow. Actually, no. Failure forces you to grow. Kasi pag nag-fail ka, wala kang ibang pwedeng gawin kundi bumangon ulit. That's why. That's number one that's the number one benefit of failure. Okay? Failure teaches us growth. The second one is failure teaches us courage and strength. You know, if you never failed in your life, you will never really understand the meaning of courage. And courage is doing something even though you're scared that it might not work out. Okay, so courage and strength talaga yung second benefit ni failure. If you have failed, especially if you have failed so many times, dito mo marirealize na malakas pala ako. And yeah, you will realize that being strong is really not so much of an option, especially if being strong is the only choice you got. And failure teaches us exactly that. Failure teaches us courage and strength altogether. Ito yung masarap na pakiramdam pag nag-fail ka kasi doon mo talaga mararamdaman gaano ka kalakas. And I'm not only talking about um, failures at work. Failures, as I've mentioned earlier, it can happen in your personal life, in your relationship, in your career, or whatever endeavor that you are, maybe in your business, diba? So, kapag nag-fail ang any aspect in our lives, yun talaga yung naituturo niya sa atin, courage and strength. Ikatlo, it also teaches us resourcefulness and creativity, especially as Filipinos. This is one of our strongest suits, resourcefulness and creativity. We are so resourceful. We make something out of usually nothing, or out of the things that we just find at home. Tapos we do something out of it, and then, you can make a business out of it. Ganun, yun talaga yung yun talaga yung isa sa strongest feature or characteristic ng mga Filipinos. Talagang we are very resourceful. And so failures also teach us that. We become resourceful, we become creative, we think of ways on how we can be successful on our next endeavor. Kasi nag-fail ka eh. So, maghahanap ka ngayon ng ibang paraan kung paano ka magiging successful in the next endeavor. Okay? And next is, at kaya palang harapin ng every failure ko, ma'am. Oh, yes, that's true, that's true. Thank you, Ma'am Cla. Good evening po. Okay, next is character. So, yan yung sinasabi ni Ma'am. Ni Ma'am Cla na kaya pala nating harapin yung kada failure natin. Because failure teaches us character. And hopefully, our failures teaches us a good character. Kasi, well, there are two types of characters. You can be good or bad. But, failures, especially those who have learned courage and strength, eventually realize that they also become better persons. Kaya, character is really one of the benefits of failure. Nagkakaroon tayo ng mas magandang character or mas mabuting character, which is related to number 5 and number 6. We learn about compassion. Kasi kapag nag-fail ka, alam mo yung pakiramdam na nag-fail, so you become more compassionate towards other people. You become more considerate about other people. You tend to appreciate other people's efforts. Kasi nga alam mo yung feeling na nag-fail ka eh. So, nakikita mo rin sa ibang tao pag nag-effort sila at mas na-appreciate mo yung effort nila kahit, sometimes their best is not enough. Pero nakikita mo kasi alam mo rin sa sarili mo kung anong ibig sabihin ng efforts, di ba? Next is humility. If success teaches us, pride, teaches us joy, teaches us a lot of beautiful things, failure also teaches us a very beautiful thing, which is humility. And sabi ka nila, measure daw ang success mo hindi sa pagmamayabang mo, kundi sa kung gaano ka ka-humble. And failure, if you haven't failed in life, you will never really understand the meaning of humility. You know, trying several thousands of efforts and then it did not work. It takes a lot of humility to accept that. So, masarap sa pakiramdam na mag-fail, lalong-lalo na kung matututunan mo yung yung value ng humility dahil doon. Okay, so hopefully we were able to appreciate failures. It's not always a bad thing. Failures, again, failures are just stepping stones or whatever you call it. But again, failures are not supposed to be negative all the time. Maraming benefits ang failure. Okay, batiin lang po natin si Ma'am Likudan. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much for watching. Okay. So again, you please join the conversation. This is all about failure. Hindi ko pwede sabihin na expert ako sa failure. Pwede siguro. Kasi ilang beses na ako nag-fail. Pero definitely can share your comments on the comment box below. You can also join the conversation. You might want to share something that you've failed at and then ito yung mga natutunan ninyo. What are those things na natutunan ninyo nung nag-fail kayo? Okay, so again, join the conversation. Huwag kayong mahihiya because this live stream is all for you and this is all for, for the benefit of having a conversation about failure and about motivating ourselves, about rising beyond our failures. Okay? Okay. So how do we deal with failure? Wait, before that, I'll say something pala before that. Okay, let me share my own personal story of failure. Okay, when I graduated from college, in March, of course, March pa nun yung graduation, napaghalata yung edad ko, kasi ngayon ibang month na yung graduation. Several years ago, I graduated in March, and then I took the board exam in June, if I'm not mistaken, with the month. Okay, nag-take ako ng board exam ng real estate brokers. Yes, we have a board exam for real estate brokers. That's why we are called licensed real estate brokers for those who have taken and passed the board exam. So yes, there's a licensure for real estate brokers, and so I took the board exam and I have basically zero background in real estate. I was fresh out of college. I had no knowledge whatsoever about houses. I just know that I have a very big love for houses. And then yun, when I was in college, somebody was telling my mom na maybe your daughter can try taking the exam in real estate, and then baka makapasa siya kasi mukha namang may nakita siya sa akin na sabi niya something that maybe we can use in her real estate career. And I was like zero knowledge. Wala talaga akong alam about real estate because what? I was in college. I mean, when we were younger, wala namang nagsabi na, ako gusto kong maging real estate broker paglaki ko. Hello, walang ganon. Maraming magsasabi na, gusto kong maging teacher, or gusto kong maging bumbero, gusto kong maging police, maging engineer, pero wala pa akong narinig na, Mommy, paglaki ko, gusto kong maging broker. Wala namang ganon, di ba? So, wait, let me just stop this one. So, wala namang ganon. So, parang, okay, ano yung real estate? So, I was asking that. And then, anyway, I took the board exam sa madalit sabi. And then, so I took the board exam. I graduated in March. I took the board exam in June. Kasi noon, wala pang course for real estate. So any 4-year course, for as long as graduate ka and so on, merong mga requirements, pwede ka mag-take ng board exam. So the exam during that time was like 80% math, 20% law. And I realized that, sabi ko, gusto kong mag-take ng board exam na to because I want to prove that even though I'm an English major in college, I can also pass the board exam because I'm also good in math. So yun lang talaga yung dahilan. Okay, so I think my signal froze. Okay, am I still there? So anyway. Okay, so anyway, I'll continue speaking. Okay, so I'm still there, pero yung camera ko nag-freeze. So I'm not sure what's going on. But anyway, so I wanted to prove that I was good enough in math. That's why I took the board exam. But that was like one of the first heartbreaks after school. So obviously, hindi ako pumasa. Yun yung i-share ko. Hindi ako pumasa sa board exam na yun. So, did I stop? Of course, I did not. Kasi being the ambitious person that I am, being the go-getter person that I am, I told myself that I will never stop until I get my goal of, having the license next to my name. So yun. So that's one of the failures that I will never forget because it taught me a lot of things about failure and about life in general. So okay, so nag-freeze talaga yung camera ko. I'm not sure what's going on. So gagamitin ko yung kabila kong screen. So of course, Doc Jane, you're there. I learned a lot from my failures in life and I came out as a survivor. Life teaches us a lesson that later on we will use as our experiences in life. Ayan, of course, I learned from the best. I learned it from my mom. Yan. Pagdating sa failures talaga, parang may feeling ko may PhD ako sa failures dahil sa nanay ko because she taught me a lot of things. Okay. And Ma'am Jazz, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Okay. So let me share my screen again and kahit na hindi ko alam kung nakikita pa ninyo ako, pero feeling ko naman oo pa. So nag-freeze totally yung itong camera na to. May mahala siya. So anyway, um okay, so how do we deal with failure? I have FAIL. Letter F will start with feel. And I've mentioned earlier that failures are not fatal. Okay, unless otherwise you really committed a fatal failure, but failures are not fatal. You really have to feel them. Um, I don't know if I can say in general failures cannot kill people unless you really made a very, unless you made a major mistake. But failures can never kill people unless again it's a fatal mistake. Okay, so just feel, especially if it's something that's personal to you, feel it. Ramdamin mo. Masakit? Sige, ramdamin mo. I always say this, do not feel as if your feelings are not valid because feelings are always valid. You just have to feel them. Ramdamin mo lang kasi like what else can you do if not, if not feel it? Kasi the more you run away from the feeling of, from feeling hurt from failures, the more na iha-hunt ka niya. The more those feelings will haunt you. So do not run away from those feelings. Feel them. That's my number one. That's my number one tip for you. Feel. And then number two is accept. Okay, so this is easier said than done. I always say this. It's easier said than done, obviously. Pero the thing is about life, we don't necessarily have to accept everything all at the same time. It takes time. Okay, kung hindi mo matanggap ngayon, try mo ulit bukas. Kung hindi mo matanggap bukas, try mo ulit the next day. Because the closer you are to accepting that you have failed, the closer you are to improving yourself. So it takes a lot of guts to accept things, but you really have to accept it. Okay, so the more na pinifeel mo yung failure, the more na it also brings you closer to acceptance. And the more you take a step towards acceptance, the easier it is for you to move to the next step. Okay, next will be introspect. I'm not sure if I will say this correctly, but this is what introspecting means for me. Introspecting is really looking from within, evaluating yourself. Okay. Most people probably know what introspecting is all about. So, alamin niyo kung saan kayo nagkamali. Introspect, self-evaluation, know what you did right, know what you did wrong, know what you could have done better. Always, kapag may scenario in front of you, always ask yourself, what did I do right? What did I not do right? And what can I do to make things better? Always assess yourself. Kasi it's only by then that we will also be able to improve ourselves. Always ask yourself these questions. Kasi kahit na sa trabaho, kahit na sa loob ng bahay, kahit personal mong buhay, meron siyang relevance. You can always ask yourself these evaluating questions. And it's really helpful. I always do that, asking myself, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? Kasi minsan, kapag hindi mo kasi tinanong yung sarili mo, minsan parang masyado tayong proud sa sarili natin. Masyadong mataas yung pride natin. And one of the things that I learned over the years is really so much about knowing when to have pride and when to swallow it, because nobody ever died from swallowing their pride, okay? So, kung minsan nasasaktan tayo dahil ma-pride tayo, pero alam niyo yun, kapag nalunok na ninyo yung pride na yun, marirealize niyo, oh, it's not that bad anyway. It's a bitter pill to swallow. I totally get that. But, if you get past it, marirealize mo na, oh, that's not that bad. That's not so difficult to do. Okay. And of course, letter L stands for live and move on. Okay? Kasi ang daming tao yung parang nagde-dwell on failures, and sobrang guilty din ako diyan paminsan-minsan. At kaya ko to ginagawa because I've also personally experienced dwelling on my failures. I in several years ago, I quit my dream job. Okay, nag-quit ako sa dream job ko kasi meron akong personal matter na mas pinili ko during that time. And most of us always associate our lives with our jobs. Na parang kung umalis ka sa trabaho na yon, feeling natin worthless na tayo. Sometimes we tend to associate ourselves with our jobs, that when we resign from that job, we feel that we're already useless, or we feel that we're no longer worthy of something. Okay. And I did that, and I felt that. I went through that particular scenario in my life where I have totally fallen in love with my job. But when I had to resign, I felt like I failed, and I felt like I was a failure. And so, kahit po kahit po sino nararamdaman to, and I'm sharing this because I want to tell you that it's perfectly normal to feel that you have failed, because we all fail. All right? That's the thing. We all fail. Kung hindi ka nag-fail ngayon, that's good. Pero what if mag-fail ka tomorrow? Well, that's not so bad either. Okay? Darating at darating yung mga moments in our lives that we will fail. And again, remember this, it's perfectly normal, because we are humans. We cannot control the results of our actions. We can only control our actions to get our results, but our results, we cannot control that. Okay? Those are external factors. Okay. So, syempre, let me share another quote. Okay? So, hulaan ulit natin kung sino siya. If you can dream it, you can do it. Always remember that this whole thing was started by a mouse. Okay? So, hulaan natin kung sino siya. Tingnan ko nga kung online pa ba ako? So, I'm not sure if I was able to pull this off, but sana nakikita pa ninyo ako. Okay, so sino ang nagsabi ng words na to? Ayun yung picture niya, nandyan sa gilid yung picture niya. Do you remember, or do you know who he is? He said, if you can dream it, you can do it. Always remember that this whole thing was started by a mouse. And his story went like this. He was rejected several times. Rejected. Okay. And feeling niya nag-fail siya ng maraming beses na makapag-submit siya based on the requirements. Kasi he was an artist. Okay? And, okay, he was an artist. He loves to draw. And ang pinaka nagpasikat sa kanya ay isang daga. At alam niyo ba kung bakit daga yung dinrawing niya? Inanimate niya, or binigyan niya ng buhay yung daga, mouse. Kasi takot na takot siya sa daga. Kaya yun yung ginamit niyang inspiration, yun yung dinrawing niya para hindi na siya matakot sa daga. So, do you know who he is? His name is, come on! Hindi ko talaga alam kung online pa ako, pero sige, we'll try this. Can you guess who he is? Para tuloy akong yung nasa Naalala ko yung mga pamangkin ko 'pag nanonood sila, yung nag-aantay may sumagot. And then, perfect! Yun, yung mga gano'n. Parang mga bata. Ano ba 'to? Yung Dora pala yun. Can you guess, Sir Lola? Ganyan-ganyan siya, eh. Okay, thank you, Claudence. Walt Disney. And another one from Nicola. Yes, it's Walt Disney. Yes, that's Walter Disney. Yun yung full name niya. So, kung nakikita ninyo ngayon ang Walt Disney, nagsimula lang yung pangarap na yon dahil sa daga. Kaya sabi ni Walt Disney, always remember that this whole thing was started by a mouse. Isipin nyo kung gaano nakarami yung Disneyland sa buong mundo at gaano karaming empleyado meron yung Disneyland at kung gaano karaming milyon-milyong tao yung pinapasaya ng Disneyland every single year, even every single day, di ba? Kaya nga tinatawag nila yung Disneyland is the happiest place on earth because it's really for kids and for the kids at heart. And remember, that dream was Walt Disney's dream. And he failed so many times in his life, and yet he was able to make it possible. So remember, if you can dream it, you can do it. And I'll finally be leaving you with the quote, with a quote, with my own personal words that I have crafted for tonight's event or for tonight's show. I will tell you this: remember that you are not defined by your failure. Okay? Hindi ka dinedefine ng failure mo. Don't ever think that just because you failed, you are a failure because you're not. Please do not ever think that you are a failure. Marami tayong mga bagay na tinry natin pero hindi nag-workout. Pero sabi nga ni Thomas Edison kanina, 'di ba? Sabi ni Thomas Edison, I have not failed. I've only found 10,000 ways that did not work or that does not work. So let's always have a positive mindset towards failures. Remember that you can definitely make use of your failures so that you can also benefit from it. Wag natin, ay kasama ko. Reminder din to sa sarili ko pag pinanood ko ulit tong live session na to. Remember that our failures do not define us, and remember that our failures can be taken positively if we have um, the right mindset when we encounter failures. And failures are not permanent. Remember po, failures are not permanent. They're not there to punish you. They're not there so that you will have a miserable life. Failures are not there para iparamdam sa iyo na sobrang dami mong pagkakamali sa buhay. Okay, that's not true. Failures are there because it teaches us to have a beautiful character. It teaches us growth. It teaches us a lot of things that only failures can teach, and success will never be able to teach us that. So, above all things, always remember that even though we have failed so many times, God will not see us as a failure. So if you feel at one point in your life na feeling mo failure ka, please don't. Okay? Merong dalawa, merong dalawa na naniniwala sa'yo. Dapat ikaw 'yon at si God forever maniniwala siya sa kakayahan mo. You are given these dreams in your heart. You are given this beautiful dreams in your heart, in your mind. They are there for a reason, and they are there because maybe God wants you to make them come true. And of course, if you are also able to fulfill your dreams, if you're also able to reach your goals, you will also be a channel of blessing to another person. So let's be that person. Let's make sure that our failures will lead us to better characters, na maging mas maayos tayo compared to before, and that we will also be able to help other people overcome their own failures, because that's what we're all here for. We are all here because we would like to make a difference, not only in our lives, not only in our families, but also in the community that we live in. So hopefully I was able to share some insights on failures, and I hope that if you are if you are feeling down because of a failure these days, you can watch this all over again, or you can also send me a message. There are so many people out there behind the scenes who are willing to help you out. We can talk it out. We can, we can guide you on what you can do. Ganyan. If you need someone to talk to, kahit gusto mo lang may makinig sa'yo, please reach out. My inbox is always open for you. You can definitely send a message even through my personal Facebook page, or if we're friends on Facebook. If not, pwede rin po kayong mag-send ng message dito sa official Facebook page ko. Okay? So, let me end tonight's topic by also introducing you tomorrow's topic, which is all about Thinking Tuesdays. So tomorrow will be our Thinking Tuesdays episode. And tomorrow our topic will be common mistakes people make in social media. So tomorrow, dahil nga Thinking Tuesdays, we are gonna be talking about we are gonna be using critical thinking tomorrow. Ano nga ba yung mga mistakes na ginagawa natin sa social media? Baka naman alam natin, pero na-overlook natin, or baka hindi talaga natin alam at all. Okay, so I hope to see you again tomorrow. Oops, let me just stop my sharing para makita niyo yung face ko. Kahit hindi ko nakikita yung face ko. Okay, thank you so much once again for joining me tonight in this conversation about failures. And hopefully you were able to gain some insights on how you can also deal with your own personal failures and your failures at work, in school, or maybe in your family. Ganyan. Don't feel as if you're going to be stuck there forever. The choice is yours. You have the power to decide. You have the power to change your mindset towards failures, and make sure that when you change your mindset, you become better at accepting failures. Because again, failures are not fatal, and failures are not permanent, and failures do not mean to punish you. They are mean to teach you a lesson. And I hope we all learn that lesson. And again, this is Irene. Thank you so much for watching tonight's episode. And I'll see you again tomorrow for another episode that will make us think, that will inspire us, that will motivate us. And so I'll see you again tomorrow night. Bye, everyone. God bless you. Stay safe. Thank you.